Welcome one. Welcome all. We have a great slate ahead of us here. As always, I'm joined by former Millie Maker winner in the best ball streets a few years ago, my guy Felix. And Felix, I have to ask you before we even start on anything else, how much
Yes.
Kyle Pitts? How much Kyle Pitts?
20%. 20%. Feeling great.
That is
Feeling great. My highest owned tight end, dude. It's best ball season. Your boy is going to take down another one. I don't know what I'm taking down, but I'm taking down something. I did 150 the King of the Desert, advanced 40 or 30, and so we're feeling good about that. So
absolutely, man. Kyle Pitts, unreal slate
yes.
there. Christian. Hopefully you had some Asplin. I don't know. I bet on him. I saw that Big T was on Asplin inside the distance. You were too, Felix.
Yeah, I didn't watch the show today. I was a little busy with the Christmas stuff, but yeah, if you watch the Dana White Contender Series, this dude is coming to throw bombs and he is ready to talk some smack on the mic. It's a pretty entertaining guy.
Absolutely, and yeah, I feel like it was like 100 just significant strikes to the dome of that dude.
Listen, oh my god, I can't wait to watch it.
It was a good one. It was a good one to rewatch. Almost had him in the first round too. Yeah. SJ, what's up, man? All right, guys. We have 13 games ahead of us. That is the most we've had. That's the most we can have in a single slate that isn't on, week 18 Sunday. But then again, they've done 2 Saturday games on week 18 at times. So 13 is about the most you'll ever get on a slate. I don't want to waste anyone's time. We got a bunch of snow out there. You got a flurry there, right? So I want to be able to go home. I am stuck at my parents' right now. Didn't want to take the risk of driving with 3-4 inches on the ground out there. So we'll see if I brave the weather later on. But for now, we will talk some football. And Felix, what better in the life? What better in the life than a Kenny Pickett revenge game? Coming into the Philadelphia Eagles. He was there last year, right? Then now Las Vegas. This is a sorry team total, to say the least. Just hovering around 2 touchdowns basically for the Raiders. Philadelphia, big favorites, despite being on a massive slide of obviously losing to your Chargers over the last week, where the defense didn't look that bad. But again, the defense can look great against that Chargers O-line. Any defense can. But you have an Eagles team that is centered more around A.J. Brown in recent weeks, hasn't translated to wins, but the targets are there for the most part. Saquon finally broke, a long touchdown, a 19-yard run. And I think he had, a 52-yard rushing touchdown last week too, something like that.
Yeah, the big one, yeah.
And look, this Raiders defense is horrible. We just saw what was it, like a couple weeks ago, where Shadur had a decent game against them, a couple wide receivers and like Fan, and also some okay games too. And in reality, I want to go against the Raiders. The problem is, Felix, I didn't trust the Eagles going against the Lions a few weeks ago. Right? They beat the Lions. It said, okay, Sirianni has this team peak at the right time. I was wrong. Right? Since then, it's just been a downward spiral. If there was ever a slate to go back to them, though, especially A.J. Brown on the outside, it feels like this Raiders spot, Felix. You got to talk me off it, because I might be in on some A.J. Brown.
So I'm having a hard time pinning down what I want to target this week, but man, the Raiders don't look good. I know that they have a decent run defense, but I did a few underdog drafts this week as they gave me a free hat, so I was like, I'll give them a couple bucks back. So I did a couple drafts. I kept falling myself in the 3rd round grabbing Saquon Barkley. I'm like, God, it feels good. It's not that good of a defense. So I'm taking a lot of Barkley. A.J. Brown's going to do his too small when he puts up a 50-yard bomb with these guys. I can see him catching, like four balls for 107 yards and a touchdown. Now, are they going to spread it out like they normally do? And it's going to be, a touchdown Saquon, 2 rushing touchdowns for tush pushes for Jalen Hurts, and a touchdown. They can all get it. And on this slate, you need a smaller. I mean, they have a pretty condensed offense, but I think you even need an even more condensed offense because this is going to be probably the highest scoring slate of the year. I'm thinking like 270 is going to be the score. So, I think you could take a piece. I don't think you want a lot of pieces from any game particular, unless it's the Ravens and Baltimore, or the Ravens and Bengals later. We'll talk about that. But yeah, I think this is one where you might want to just grab one piece or two pieces.
Yeah, right now, look, we know what Saquon hasn't been doing this season. He hasn't been filling the shoes that he put last year, right? Still a great running back, but again, this Eagles team just has lacked explosive plays for the most part. Maybe last game was a sign of things to come, but didn't really do anything outside of that. A couple runs there against the Chargers. And I know the Chargers defense been solid all year, but if there was, the one guy that I'm looking at, it is AJ Brown, right? And look, I get it, right? I think AJ Brown, from any football fan, as frustrating as can be, because you won a Super Bowl and you're still complaining. It's one of the most out of touch individuals in the league. But over the last 4 games, 11 targets, 10 targets, 12 targets, 13 in that time frame, 49, 110, 132, 100, and 3 touchdowns in those 4 games too. So this secondary is maybe the worst in the league. The Bengals are up there too, but the Bengals at least have some good corner, a good guy to lock down wide receiver ones on the opposite team. The Raiders do not have that. I think Brown, a sprinkle of Smith, and I'm going to let the chips fall where they may with Hurts because Felix, I can see a world where Hurts double stack at the most random time of the season against a terrible defense can hit. And if there was a time you talked about a clear only 4 dudes on this offense do anything outside of Hurts, right? So I don't know. I'm kind of interested in Eagles doubles. I'm not interested in Bowers this week at 5,900, even though I think Kenny Pickett is an upgrade over Geno Smith at this time. I don't want to trust it. Genty at 5,800. I'm curious to see what they do, but the touches. Pete Carroll. Are they going to go back-to-back years firing a coach?
They're getting rid of Pete Carroll at the end of this year. There's no way you can bring him back after this showing. I know it's his first year there, but this is embarrassing. He's an older coach. He's not really ready for a rebuild. He was ready to take over and take them to the playoffs. This is embarrassing. They got to start all over, cut it all out, draft Mendoza, Heisman winner, and bring him there.
And that's where I kind of agree, right? And, look, I love Bowers. Everyone knows I love Bowers who watches this show. But with Genty, he might even just because that price is a little too cheap. Yeah. We did see Hampton and Vidal have a decent game put together, right? And Genty could get that work. But, I'm just telling you, it's a team with a 14-point team total. You don't want to get too crazy. You don't want to get too cute. Eagles defense is a great play individually going against Kenny Pickett and that terrible, terrible, terrible offense.
I think you brought up a good point with the defense. I think this week is going to come down to who has the best defense. I can see a lot of high-scoring teams, and this comes down to if you played the right defense or not.
The worst part is you're probably right. That is just the one thing. Chris, hope everything is well. Richie Smalls, if it's a blowout, could we see Tank get some touches? It's going to be such a high-scoring slate, but that would be a showdown thing where I agree. Tank. I don't even think he got a carry last game. I know a couple games ago he didn't even get a touch against. I think that was the Black Friday game against the Bears.
It might be so bad they bring in Will Shipley. It could be bad, but I think you need to have at least a 30-point from all point getters in your lineup this coming week. It's gonna be high scoring.
Oh, absolutely. C-Dub, put him in a home. It's Pete Carroll. Gosh, man, he's getting near there. The whole Chip Kelly thing not working out too. Just gross. You mentioned a lot of this slate, since it's 13 games, going to be like a piece here, a piece there. You're going to want your stacks. You don't have to play 4 guys from the same team, right? Because you're going to have really good spots overall. But if you do want to overstack, we're always fine with that in the Million Round Table. The one thing is that this game is really good on paper. T. Higgins, I don't know in what world how he was allowed to return after the first half. Clearly looked dazed. And then 2 more times he looked dazed and confused. And then still pulled off an amazing grab with 2 minutes left. T. Higgins is going to be out for this one.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase wasn't really looked after a ton until that fourth quarter, and that's when things went wrong for Burrow. On back-to-back targets to Chase, he was intercepted on both those pass attempts. Chase was never at fault or anything like that, but man, 8,100 for Jamar Chase is getting a little bit difficult because we have seen some lackluster performances here. Burrow, obviously, it's gross, right? I told myself last week, right, after Jackson Smith and Jigba mushroom stamped the entire slate, I sat there and I was like, why am I still clicking Jamar over JSN on a consistent basis, right? And I know me, I had a lot of Josh Allen last week, so I
did
somehow,
too.
Somehow I keep minning with the worst lineups possible because I had like the two guys that nuke, and Josh Allen was one
Same.
of the
Same. I think we're nailing the nukes, but we're not nailing the the other parts of the
exactly. This matchup we did just get on Thanksgiving Day, right? So that was a game where Jamar did go. What was it, 7 for 110?
I watched like that, from start to end on that game. I watched every breath they took. He targeted Tinsley a whole bunch in that game, and it was a lot of drops, and a loss, like just barely missed connections. And at the mid, I don't think he's mid, but he's $100 outside of mid. Like, I feel like that's a smash play. If you're going to go for a lower owned person that's going to score probably roughly 20 points, if he would have caught the touchdown passes that he could have in 2 weeks ago, like, I think that's the play.
So you absolutely took what I was going to say next, which in a good way. No. Mitchell Tinsley is basically your wide receiver too, right? And I mentioned this last week, and then sure enough, I was wrong. What's new, right? It's the Million Roundtable. I'm talking. I'm going to be wrong a lot of the time. Mike Gesicki then had a pretty big role last week, but in that Ravens game, they deferred to a lot of 3 wide receiver sets, right? And they usually have Gesicki out there in the slot when he is healthy, right? In week 13 against the Ravens, that wasn't the case. For the Bengals, it was a lot of Tinsley, Yoshavas, and Jamar Chase. We literally had the same scenario less than, what was it, like 17 days ago or something like that?
Yeah.
So, we can kind of use that as a really strong sample. And in that game, Jamar Chase ran 48 routes, Yoshavas 47. Then it was Tinsley who ran 30, but did get 9 targets, right? Like you said. A few drops in there, a couple end zone targets as well. In that same mix, Chase Brown, 7 catches for 35 yards. Gesicki only ran 20 routes. All right, compare that to week 14 when they were going against the Bills. Gesicki ran 16 routes, and the Bengals, I guess the role, he just got 6 targets. I guess the role wasn't that much larger. So he just kind of ran more of a pure tight end role rather than in that slot a lot. So like Fant and Gesicki weren't sharing the field a ton, which just kind of like slightly turns me off on Gesicki. I'm spending a lot of time in this game before giving it to you because there's just a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
The Ravens, I mean, anyone who's watching football knows Lamar Jackson isn't the Lamar Jackson that we've come to know. And it's really bad. He is just not making good throws. And these guys are open. And I'm honestly worried about playing any skill players. Look, Zay Flowers was locked down by this Bengals defense. And then you have all this production, whether it's Andrews or Likely, who are probably your 2 best because the Bengals are one of the worst teams against tight ends in the league. Those are 2 good plays. But outside of them, unless they give the rock to Derrick Henry 25 or 30 times tomorrow, I'm kind of out on this Ravens team against that terrible Bengals defense. It's Henry, it's Andrews, and Likely, and that's just it for me.
Yeah, I definitely get it. I'm probably going to – I know we talked about how ugly it was with Chase, but at the same time, it's Chase versus what's his face, and he just owns him, man. He owns him. I know that he was a little bit light, but it was Joe Burrow's first game back, in the cold a little bit. Like, it's still gonna be cold, but like we're getting back to his footing. He did seem a little depressed on the mic the other day, but sometimes you get the Midwest blues, and you gotta just take the roll with the bunches on those days. But I'm going to have a lot of Tinsley because I do think he's going to put up 20 plus, and it's just a solid piece. And I do think it's Dehember time personally. And I do think it's going to be because he got a couple of penalties that previous week. And then obviously Isaiah Likely. I'm probably going to stay away from the tight ends because it could be too high owned for a split tight end backfield or tight end field. I don't even call it. And I'm probably going to have a lot of Derrick Henry, a lot of Mitchell Tinsley, but I'm definitely not going to be staying away from Jamar Chase here. This is about the time where he won me the Millie, and I don't know. Can't fade him, but I'm going to have him, but I'm going to be at weight with everybody else.
So, you mentioned it. Andrews and Likely both going to garner some ownership. Look, 3 tight ends got there last week for the Bills.
It's true.
Halls, Knox, and Kincaid all had a day. Likely was very close to an absolute nuke spot in that Thanksgiving game too, because we saw him fumble the ball on the goal line. which, I mean, obviously prevented a decent day. I think he even had another mistake in there too. I don't mind them. I mean, look, my thing is this, right? I watched the Ravens game last week. I watched the Bengals. We had it on one screen. We had the Ravens Steelers. My dad's a Steelers fan, so we watched that game, and Likely wasn't out there on every play on the last drive. Kolar was out there a little bit. It felt weird to me. It looked weird. Is that all of a sudden, I'm thinking Likely's going to be out there a bunch. He was only out there for 22 routes last week compared to Andrews' 33. We've talked about it on this show. Big T was on the show. We liked Likely over Andrews, because they were basically the same role. Last week kind of showed that maybe Andrew, if you're getting 50% more snaps, you're just a way better play than the other guy.
I don't know if you have a tinfoil hat, but I think it has something to do with the extension of Mark Andrews. I think I Likely had already come in there saying, hey, I'm going to be needing him out of here and be a pay raise kind of deal. They're trying to introduce Kolar, maybe to be the backup for the future to overtake, Andrews' role, and then Likely to be kind of cut and moved on with. Like, I think they might be going that route, and I think that might have done something to his role, but that's the tinfoil hat, expectation, but I'm not sure. I still like Likely, but yeah.
No, I think you're right. Last week was the first time that happened. All right, you go back to week 13, and it could. I mean, I don't think it was a punishment because they're in the midst of a division battle, and this game has a lot of important. And look, Bengals don't got a chance, right? I really don't think that, but they think they have a chance because you look at the Steelers' last bit of the schedule, it gets pretty tough. If the Ravens take the game from the Steelers, all of a sudden you're looking at, man, we can win out. We have a chance. It's delusional, but that's the thought here in Cincinnati. But Baltimore, same way. They need a win. They're not going to just bench Likely or whatever, but 22 routes to 33 for Andrews. It's Andrews for me all day. And I didn't expect to say that coming into the show, but I mean, one catch for 9 yards. Nice extension, Baltimore. We love you. And I know Likely did should have caught 2 touchdowns last week for what it's worth. Did get screwed on that. I don't want to go on a tangent because it's 13 game slate, but Bijan had a catch and a fumble that looked exactly like the Likely situation. And then there was the Mike Evans thing where they called it a completion, though the ball hit the ground and stuff. And I don't know what a catch is anymore. I thought I knew.
No, I have no idea. I have not, honestly.
If Isaiah Likely one wasn't a catch, I'm watching with my dad like a Steelers fan. He's
did you watch the Bijan one? I'm like, that was barely a third step.
The same thing as the Likely one.
I have no idea. It depends on the ref, I guess. And they don't probably even know.
So 14 targets for Jamar 2 weeks ago against this Ravens team. I guess I'm willing to go back to it, but it would be a part of game stacks. Like, I don't want to just isolate him out there. Yeah. I think he's a good play, but I want Andrews on the other side of the ball. I think one last thing before we move on. All right. How much Lamar for you?
I'm gonna have him, and honestly, it's gonna be weird. I'm gonna probably put him with Derrick Henry. Like, if they're rolling, right? They're on par. They're just destroying the Bengals. So, like, if I'm thinking it that way, like, they're gonna just roll the Bengals, and I'll have just a cheap comeback with Tinsley. They're just milking it. They're trying to get out of there. But I'm not gonna be like heavily overweight. I'm just gonna have a nice little average because he's so cheap now. It's like, I think it's cheap, 6,400 for Lamar.
Keaton Mitchell's out for this one, right?
Oh no, he's.
Oh, he's in. Okay. I saw he leave last game.
He left, but I think that he could have come back, but he didn't.
Which is weird. They had Ali out there on the last drive.
Who looked okay.
Hot take. One last hot take.
Yeah.
I think the Harbaugh Lamar thing is over after this year, no matter what.
Yeah.
They were legitimately afraid to throw that ball in the second half unless they had to. I'm completely out in Lamar. I thought
he looked okay at the end. I thought he looked okay.
Oh man, there is just so much.
He looks a step slower though. Did
you see the Reddit post of that one chick who broke up with her boyfriend on the Ravens or whatever and spilled the tea?
No. What happened?
Basically, Lamar wants Harbaugh out. The one defensive tackle's career is over, basically, or whatever. It was crazy. It apparently got verified. So we'll move on from this game here. We'll go to the Jets and Jags. Jags are a slightly frustrating team because with Brian Thomas back, it does feel still, though, that Jacoby Myers is probably just wide receiver one on this team without a doubt, Felix. You do have ETN, but you got Tootin right behind him where, ETN could have 2 touchdowns in the first half. I think we've literally seen that before, and he still doesn't crush because Tootin comes in, takes a fair amount of work.
Not this past week, though.
So
he had 2 fumbles. He got kicked out. They said enough of that. So I honestly, I'm kind of all wheels in on Travis Etienne. They just said, you're fumbling, you're out, man. Like they brought in, I think it was LaQuint Allen, and then they pretty much ran the rock after that. So I'm like, and they're kind of running into the playoffs, so maybe they're trying to get hot. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but they got rid of Tootin last week.
I assume that he didn't get there because of Tootin. I didn't realize it was just because he sucked. I mean, that's even worse.
Yeah.
But you're right. 20 carries to Tootin's 2. LaQuint Allen had just receiver involvement, which we have seen from him. That's consistent to what we've seen all season. 2 for 8, and no carries. Tootin only with the 2 carries. Go ahead and take it about ETN, because that is intriguing in a Jet spot where I kind of wanted to attack a little bit. And this Jags offense overall, it's implied a hefty team total here, Felix.
So I'm trying to think back to whenever the coach Liam Cohen, whatever his name is, coach last year in the offense coordinator, and what he did, he took the ball out of Baker Mayfield's hand for a lot of it and just ran the heck out of the ball towards the end, and until the week 17 or week 18, trying to get Mike Evans 1,000. But I think he's trying to do something similar with Trevor Lawrence, where he's just trying to get the ball out of his hands and stop making so many mistakes and just running the heck out of it, setting up a little play action, throwing it deep to Brian Thomas Jr. and hitting everything underneath to Jacoby Myers. I think that's the game plan. And this defense is pretty lackluster. I can see, they put their best corner on Brian Thomas Jr. on the outside because now he's only running flies and just letting all the underneath stuff happen. I can see a decent game out of Travis Etienne. That's going to be my only player I'm playing out of this game, but and maybe a little bit of Strange.
Yeah, it makes sense there. Etienne, Meyer 5,600. It was 10 targets last week. I did a best ball draft for the playoffs, Felix. I took Jacoby Myers, and I felt gross, but I was like, you know what,
that's a good pick, man.
Yeah, if they're chasing a game, I do feel like his chance of getting all the targets is much better than Romeo Dobbs.
I think there's going to be a chance. I don't know what the playoffs are looking like. I think there's going to be a chance it's like a Chargers-Jags rematch from a couple years ago, and I think that would be a good matchup.
God,
for the passing games.
I'm sorry, Phil. I'm selling so hard in your Chargers.
Sell, please, sell. I don't want anybody on my train when I win.
Oh no! Oh God, they look so bad against the Eagles too. That's a fact.
We won.
No, you know what? Respect. Harbaugh left the biggest shit in the world in that Michigan team, and then comes to the Chargers, back-to-back double-digit win seasons. You assume now at this point too, and taking him to the playoff. What a guy!
I love him.
Strange 4,200. You liked him, past couple weeks, but Brady Cook not in the offense. Mechie and Mitchell kind of lose their luster with me a little bit.
Yeah,
same. I didn't. Brady Cook did make Luther Burden look pretty good.
No, he didn't. I think he made him look worse. He went such a downgrade from his sophomore year to his junior year. He looked so bad. I'm like, what happened? It's just Brady Cook looked terrible. I don't know, but I'm out on Brady Cook as being a professional quarterback. I don't know how he got
crazy
undrafted to a team.
I just assumed. I did not realize how bad Luther Burden's numbers dropped year over year. I just assumed he was still at the 1,000-yard mark his junior year.
No,
that was a crazy drop off. Holy cow!
Yeah, it's not that's why my whole process was with Luther Burden. I was everybody's downgrading him because he had a little bit of a drop off that year. And it's it's not because of him. It's because of his quarterback play. You can't do anything when you can't get the ball.
Yeah, the sophomore year was pretty special with Brady.
It was.
But that's about it. That's really it. But look, 13-game slate, not going to have any interest in the Jets offense.
No. Travis Etienne for me, but that's about it.
You can feel free to mention defenses over the show. I kind of want to lump them in at the end of the show.
Yeah, we can do that at the end.
Yeah, because I'm looking at Jags. These defenses are projected for double digits, which is a little bit extreme. I'm going to assume that updates tomorrow. But the Jets, the Eagles, 2 teams, and we're also going to have some other low totals in this mix too. That I don't really want to spend $4K for a defense, but man,
I love the Eagles. We'll get back to it at the end. We'll talk about it.
Absolutely. Chiefs, Chargers. Oh, man, the Chargers have to be licking their chops. Yeah. A chance to drive to drive the stake through the Chiefs' heart, the vampire-ridden heart. They got the garlic ready. They got the Holy Cross ready. They got everything ready to put away the Chiefs dynasty. The Chiefs dynasty for good, even. I am still look. I just told you I'm selling on the Chargers, right? I just told you that. With all due respect, though, I've been selling on the Chiefs. I don't know. I'm conflicted here, Felix. I'm very conflicted.
I don't like it.
Has been good. Right, that's one thing. I mean, you can go and confidently say that the Chargers defense has been good. If anything, they've been pretty weak. They've been slightly weak against the run. Chiefs can't run the ball. Right? Yeah. Feel free to take this game away from me.
Yeah. So we struggle against like explosive plays, which you saw with the big run from Barkley. Like that's been our weakness for years. That hasn't really changed. So like. But I don't really see explosion plays happening from this run game. Honestly, so one person I've been drafting the most, it kind of scares me, Rashard Smith in the passing game. You know, we got killed by Kareem Hunt when he first came out. Like, we could have a bad game. I'm not saying we can't. But Travis Kelce is the guy. We've been giving up a lot of points to tight ends the last few weeks, and I don't know. Maybe they're just bringing back in a lot of short game. Rashee Rice could tear us a new one. And so, like, the passing game kind of scares us. But I that's why I'm like, I kind of like this game in a shootout. Not like 40-50 or anything like that, but like a nice 28-30 game here with a lot of the focus pieces here. I think it could be a McConkey Hampton and a Rice Kelce performance out of those core pieces.
And we're going to be dead opposite on this game.
Okay.
We're dead opposite. That doesn't happen often. I completely out in the Chargers offense, right? And look, Herbert gutted him out to a win. You know the respect I have for Herbert. I think he's a top 5 quarterback when healthy. When he also has bodies in front of him to help protect him and not offensive line. He doesn't have either of those. He doesn't have his health. He doesn't have his offensive line. He got the win last week. I'm not dismissing it. Also played absolutely horrific last game. All right, I'm just I'll call a spade there. Horrific performance from him.
Not terrible. I mean, passing the ball, yes. Not his best performance.
It's the quarterback's job.
No. I mean, look when he ran it so well. Was it 60 yards?
Him pulling those carries. What was that overtime that he did that in? He's a gamer. He's a gamer. Shout out Madison Beer.
You can't cancel it out, man. He rises to the occasion.
I just can't stomach paying $6,400 for McConkey or $4,300 for Gadsden. And God, even QJ looks absolutely horrific. You got Trey Harris getting a larger role. I mean, it just this offense feels like a mess, right? For fantasy, all right.
I can see that. Yeah.
Vidal also, that was a split last game. You know, Vidal had more carries than
Hampton. I think that's gonna it's gonna go like 60-30.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll tilt back in the Hamptons' favor for sure. But you still, it wasn't what we saw in the beginning of the season when Hampton without Najee was basically the
guy. I think Hampton next week is full control of the backfield. I think this is the last week Vidal has some passing game work. I think it's just going to be all running game from Hampton, passing game from Vidal.
Yeah, and like not all hope's lost. I mean, speaking of horrific games from a quarterback,
yikes!
The Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes had a horrific game against the Texans, a 20-10 loss where that Texans defense is probably the best in the league. 3 interceptions for Mahomes, took a couple sacks, 160 yards. About 40 of those came on the last drive in complete garbage time. I mean, like I said, call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
I hate both these offenses right now, as things stand. I love the Chargers offense coming into the season, but right now I hate it. The Chiefs offense is Mahomes bang average at this point of his career.
So maybe because I'm obsessed with these two teams, I hate the Chiefs and I love my Chargers. But Pat Mahomes is on the elite boom rating. And I look, that's like the favorite thing for me to look at every week. And he's like on the top tier, pretty elite boom rating. Like I don't know, I like that play, and then bringing it back with the McConkey, like Mahomes, Kelce, bring back McConkey, and there's some good running back plays. I don't know. That's probably gonna be my favorite build this week.
I'll let you have this game. I was like literally, I was about to come in and say I was completely fading it, but if you're on it, Felix, like,
I am. But it could be a biased vision, but I'm definitely on this game.
one last mention. Kelsey had the couple drops last game, but you're right. It's a good spot. Under 5K for him. I can be talked into him a little bit.
I don't know if we're allowed to talk about behind the paywall stuff, but they have such a tournament edge on the boom rating, and it's like I don't know, man. They have
stats and stuff. Love stats and stuff too. That the boom rating, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Chiefs defense, 3,300, my favorite play. I'm sorry, Felix. I'm sorry. All right. Oh my gosh, what a banger of a game here. Banger of a game. Bills, Patriots. James Cook last week, underwhelmed.
Yeah.
I mean, that was bad. The fumble. I think he fumbled twice even.
Yeah, he didn't look good.
Yeah, just didn't make
sense. Maybe he's the opposite of like a Dehember. Maybe we should look at James Cook as like a in the cold. He's a South boy, I'm pretty sure.
The best part is after Mega Chalk, he's 8K now and unknown, and he's gonna crush, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, absolutely.
Josh Allen continued to impress me. Like, look, I like Josh Allen. Just announced that he's having a kid.
There's the street. Yep.
What a guy. You go from Herbert to Josh Allen. I mean, two gamers right there.
Yeah.
But Josh Allen, the upside any given week, right, is awesome. Kincaid looked okay. The touchdown saved his day. I needed that touchdown badly. I'm glad I got it. But Dawson Knox still had a huge role. Khalil Shakir has disappeared from this offense.
Every wide receiver.
You're exactly right. Gabe Davis.
We're done. We're done.
First quarter, man.
We're done.
Didn't go over his prop. I was killed.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of Allen, Cook, and the tight ends, you're not going to have any interest in Buffalo. All right.
Honestly, I'm not even touching any of them. It's Allen or nothing for the Bills.
Just like Kincaid in a game that isn't snowy as hell. Can you get back to that what we saw at the beginning of the year? Because you look at that game log to start the season, man. Oh man, he was hot. He was very hot, and I think Allen trust him more than anyone else on that team. Not named. I think Dawson Knox still might hold the number one spot. Which is
that's crazy. The problem. That's the problem. Is that they love all three of these tight ends. Haas has been involved in this offense now more like 3 or 4 times in the season. Like he's got his share of the touchdowns. All 3 tight ends are involved. It might be because they're running a lot of 2 tight end sets, but they're all involved. It's a little murky. Like
it is very. It's almost similar to the Rams offense, where it's just so many guys. The Rams offense might be the worst example in the world when you have
Adams
go off last week. Yeah, I finally got burned on that one. Got burned on that one.
I think I did say we need to play Puka, but it's all right.
Yeah, that's God, man. It just killed. Real quick, and I'm going to answer this too. Jared Goff or Drake May this week, Felix, just individually. I know a lot of people's fantasy playoffs starting up. Feel free to ask questions. This is the perfect way to do it.
Yeah. 1v1, I'm all about this. When you put 5 or 6 names, my brain goes, the first one. Goff, I actually like better than May as a potential shootout game, passing the ball wise. The way to attack this Bills defense is through the run game. Yep. And though he will get some carries, I do think it's a Henderson Stevenson game, not as much as like Diggs will get his, but I think it's going to be they're going to attack through the run game.
I'm with Felix on this one. Like you said, the Bills defense on the ground is one of the worst in the league. Through the air, they're respectable. Also, it's December 14th tomorrow, and you have a game in a dome in LA between 2 high-powered offenses. I think Goff and look, May's been great. Don't get me wrong at all. I just think that's the lean for me there too. Is that it's going to be nice. It's going to be nice, cool, 71 degrees in that dome or whatever.
Yeah, it's a nice dome.
Dude, I flew over.
Have you been down there? Oh,
we flew over it when Arsenal was playing a soccer match there, and you just look at it, and the glass ceiling of it is like the coolest thing in the world.
So I got front row seats, the bleachers, which I guess you have access to to the floor seats as well, which is awesome. And it is actually kind of cold in there because they don't have walls. Like it's air. It's all air coming in there. It gets kind of chilly in there.
Wow, that I wouldn't expect that from in LA. That's nice insight right there.
Yeah, I went for week 17 a few years back. So
was that a Chargers one?
Yeah, it was Austin Eckler running 70 yards down the sideline right into my arms practically. It was fantastic.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You mentioned it. Hendo and Stevenson game here, in my opinion. I'm with you 100% here, Felix. I think May is just a little too pricey. You also have the absence of Diggs in that offense last week, which just slightly turns you off in the stacks. Butte had a decent game, but they were on the showdown. They just had a bye week, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, they had week 14 bye. Yep.
They had week 14 bye. Week 13 they were the showdown slate. It might have been it was an isolated game. It might have been Thursday. Was it a Sunday night game?
I'd trying to remember who they just played. I honestly do not remember.
I believe it was a Monday night game because I remember that was the Giants game. The
Giants and then they both had buys. Yeah.
That was actually my best showdown lineup of the entire season, Felix.
Dude, I've had so many good showdown. Thank you to SaberSim for showdown. You guys are amazing. I'm ranked 55th in that little leaderboard thing right now.
The worst part was, Felix, you flop Singletary for Tracy, who I had captain. I had a 4-2 Patriots stack, but I had the underdog and the captain. You flip those two. If I had Singletary instead of Tracy, I would have shipped everything. I was so tilted. But in that game, Ramondre started and was heavily involved in that offense. And your 6,100 for Travion is hard to trust. I know we like targeting rookie running backs off a bye, but I don't think Vrabel goes away from Ramondre. And again, this is where how many times can you slice a pie before the pie just, sucks? And that's what I'm debating with this offense. If you think the Patriots can score 30 points, great. Who's getting 25 fantasy points in that script? Right? It's been Hunter Henry in the past couple games, right, where he's been consistently pretty good. The Bengals game especially, and I don't know if I can trust anyone. I think Ramondre would be the guy where if I needed the value, but I don't think we do. I don't know, Felix. I'm kind of curious on this Patriots offense.
I'm going to be fitting in a little bit of Henderson when I get him, when I can get him, and when I need a little bit of spare on my running back position, I'm probably going to bring it down to Stevenson. But I'm going to be overweight, but I'm not going to make a point to be overweight them. It's just going to be I'm going to have running pieces against them, and I'm going to have a lot of naked Allen. So it's going to be like naked Allen, a Travion Henderson, and then fill out the rest of the team.
I like it. Naked Allen. That's a very good tidbit there because last week you didn't need Kincaid with him. Yeah, I mean, it didn't hurt, right? It didn't hurt. I mean, you would have rather what was Kyle Pitts when also still did great last week too. But yeah, you do not have to stack Josh Allen at all, and that helps a lot with flexibility.
The only thing I have to say is that there could be a narrative streak where they try to make Drake May a more of an MVP caliber type of aura, I guess. And that'd be the only thing they get closer. Like, oh, let's try to get Drake to the MVP. I don't know. Maybe that's something in the air that they want to try to do, but that's just a narrative.
It's definitely a slight factor. I think this game is a division game. They're still behind the Broncos in tiebreaker. It'll be Vrabel. I don't think Vrabel. I don't think
Vrabel's that kind of guy. I feel like he's like, oh, let's give it back from Stevenson, even though he fumbled 10,000 times.
Vrabel loves his Ramondre, that's for sure.
Yeah, he does. He's got something on
him. The only quarterback to get within a point of Josh Allen last week, Shedeur Sanders. Wow.
Yeah. I was not expecting that.
Did not expect that game to win a milli. I think that was the lowest total game of the year or something like that. It was something so gross. Yeah. It ended up being so optimal. And honestly, Shedeur and the Browns did it mostly in the fourth quarter, which that's what it takes to win a milli. Got there, and honestly, they get a defense that I think is underwhelming in the Bears. Their defense, though, the Browns' defense, had their worst performance of the entire season, and they were ran on. And they have been a slight trend toward getting ran on, and that's what the Bears are going to try to do because Caleb Williams sucks, and they want to run the ball 35 times a game with Monungai and Swift. Another game that I'm just not high on, Felix, but we have plenty of juicy games on the way, right? I'm not trying to be a pessimist, right? But we got some great games at the 4:00 range that I'm going to be a little bit higher on for the most part, even the next game too. But this game just doesn't hit for me, Felix. What do you think?
So my favorite tight end on the slate, Harold Vannon Jr.
No, that's what. Yeah, good shout. Good shout.
No Nick Njoku. He's already listed as out. And I just looked at the report. I just pulled up Browns injury report, right? So I looked it up. Njoku's out. quite a few of the defensive pieces are out for the Browns. So Luther Burden, leading the team in targets. He's my guy, second highest owned player in the best ball playoffs. So it might be, best ball goggle eyes on. And, like it could be leading the targets again this week. Luther Burden, I can see some Monangai. I'm starting to, as much Swift as I have, I'm starting to feel the Monangai like vibe from him. So there's three pieces I like in this game, not quarterbacks. I like Fannin, I like Monangai, and I like Burden this week.
So, yeah, it's funny. You get Burden at like literally the perfect time. I mean, I know you had a lot of Adunze too, a little bit, but Burden, this is like the time. And you're right. And I'm going to go ahead. These teams are right next to each other, which is great for, NFL Pro. Yeah. Last week, Burden ran 26 routes, right? 6 targets last week, 4 for 67. Moore and Zacchaeus ran, I think, every route 33 apiece. Not the worst if you just isolate it to the Bears with a decent team total. You're exactly right. The Browns are missing some key guys. So, it makes sense that the Bears team total is pretty healthy. They are going to want to run the ball a lot. And that's where just like I don't want to double stack Caleb at all this week. But Burden, Zacchaeus, DJ Moore, like that Zacchaeus projection is way too low.
And at 3,300, that's definitely viable. Like I've been telling you, I think this is going to be a high scoring slate personally, and I think Zacchaeus could definitely hit optimals.
That Zacchaeus projection is like 4 points too low. That doesn't.
But Dunze's out, so like he should be higher.
Oh, Saber has a Dunze in.
No, it doesn't. No, it has him out. So I don't know why it's so low on him. Maybe weird. More to Loveland because Loveland has a healthy total there.
And last week, Loveland ran 22 routes compared to like 33. I mean, I know Burden ran 26 and stuff, but like I don't get too excited by that. But then you flip it over to like Cleveland, right? And I like the wide receivers more than Loveland at 36.
Yeah, same.
Flip it over to Cleveland. 38 routes for Fannin last week, 44 for Judy. Shedeur loves targeting Harold Fannin. He's been his top target hitter, I think, every week that Shedeur started, right? 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. I should have. Yeah, Harold Fannin is definitely a great click tomorrow.
I missed that on best ball. I'll tell you that much. I did not believe in the duck-footed football player, and he is good, man.
Baller at Bowling Green. I wish I.
I agree.
Just like you thought Njoku would, hold down the fort.
I did, and this dude is explosive. The
Browns got themselves a good one.
Yeah.
The Judkins thing, that projection feels another 2 points too high from us.
It's just he's a decimal back where anything he runs is what he's getting. He was involved in the passing game last week, but that's usually not his.
One catch for 60
It was
yards.
Right. It was one catch. It wasn't like he was behind the line of scrimmage. It's not like he is just an explosive pass catcher. It's a short catch. It was.
And I like him. I like
him as a player.
Running back, I like him. But
same.
He has an
for fantasy, he's not great.
Since like week 4. I don't know. Just feels a little high. A Fannin, and then the Bears wide receivers, and then I can be talking to Swift. I can be talking to Swift.
Yeah, I can't say no that I don't like Swift, but I am on the Monangai train as of recently.
He runs so hard.
He looks like an early Pacheco. He looks like he's almost bad at the ground.
If I wake up and start pounding the Coronas early, I might have a lot more Swift in Monangai. This team can get ran on. Washington, New York. Washington starting Mariota this week.
Yeah.
Did the Vikings? If my dad was correct, because I asked him this question. First team since 1992 to get shut out one week, and then shut out a team the next week. That team being shut out was the Commanders last week. Jane Daniels was back. They looked horrible. I mean, Mariota, though, I think, we saw this team against the Broncos 2 weeks ago, and they put up a fight. Mariota's only 5K. You know exactly what he wants to do on offense. He wants to pepper. He did want to pepper Zach Ertz.
Guess who? I have 10%, Mr. Senate.
So this is the thing. It's not an exaggeration. I know McLaurin's back, right? Yeah. Well, it's not an exaggeration to say that like Ertz would be your leading target guy week to week, right? When you were just thought of Washington, I included Debo in that same mix. Without Ertz, it is probably going to be. Is it John Bates who probably leads the line, or does his role not change? And you just think it's going to be Sanat as the main guy?
This is the Trey McBride exact playbook that happened to Ertz when he was at the Cardinals. It's the exact playbook. Even the coach is there. It's absolutely symmetrical. The world is a circle. This is Ben Sanat's breakout game. He's going to have like 20 catches for 80 yards. It's going to be absolutely hilarious, but it's going to be his breakout game coming out party.
So it's funny. 2,700. No one's clicking that name.
No, absolutely.
No one.
I will be.
Doesn't play best ball. Knows who Ben Sanat is. All right, but we play best ball. We drafted him last year when he did nothing, and you know what we did this year? We also drafted him and still did nothing. All right?
I have him on 4 teams. I'm pretty excited.
And we still click it. We know who he is. All right, we know Ben Sanat. The problem is, right, is just, no one else is, thinking that. So his projection is going to be pretty low. Right? Kansas State guy, 2nd round pick, literally 2 years ago. You go back to what he was in college, that last season at Kansas State, 49, 676, and 6. Great for a tight end. Great for a tight end in college.
Yeah.
The production could be there. And if you're telling me right now, Ben Sanat is the starting tight end tomorrow, I am in on some Ben Sanat tomorrow.
Me too. I'm totally in. This is going to be my second highest, right behind Famine this week. I'm going to have a boatload of this guy at that min price. We know this is going to be a high scoring game. Both these defenses are on the backside of the scoring. They give it up like a corner lady, and there's going to be so much absolute action on both sides of this game. I'm excited to have any piece from this game. Slayton hasn't done well hasn't gotten off in a while. I think this is be one of the games he gets off. I think it's going to be a Jackson Dart, Theo, Slayton. Bring it back with Senate. If you don't have Theo, or even pairing them two, you can save up so much salary and get an expensive piece. I think this is going to be the game where it's a super low owned, easy to get your stacks. And you can fill it with all the other pieces that we've talked about earlier and some of the future picks that we're going to talk about later. This is an easy way to get to those.
Pardon my French. Mute your mic or mute your audio if you don't want to hear it. But these are 2 really shit teams, and that can lead to some pretty big scores. And I people who know me, I follow soccer a lot. When there are 2 bad teams in soccer and they're both desperate to win a game, it usually leads to higher scoring because they just, they're bad, but they also think they can beat the other team.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we get here. We get 2 bad teams, 2 bad defenses, really bad defenses in the Washington case. And you get Jackson Dart with some swagger. I mean, oh my God, Jackson Dart. He's going to be
better than 9. He's better than 9. This is going to be.
It's a guy who's willing to get hit sticked on the sideline, and you got the teammates fighting for him. So I love it. I loved it. I'm not even saying the Patriots guy, I don't even know who hit him, was wrong. He still went downs. But, man, I like the way they stood up for him. And Juan Dale, has been getting peppered, whether it was Winston or even Dart now. He's been, good. You also, like you said, Slayton, big play potential, 4,400. This team, this Washington defense is bottom of the barrel. I guess almost bottom of the barrel. We still got to include the Cowboys, the Bengals, and who was the other team that I was talking about? We just talked about them. It was the Raiders. Against the Pats. Yeah. They're in the bottom of both categories. The Washington Commanders are. Mm-hmm. I like it. Tyrone Tracy and Singletary. It's going to be a split still. Singletary got the hot hand, got a little bit more work. Tracy got hurt 2 weeks ago. I keep saying last week, 2 weeks ago.
I got you.
But yeah, I'm in. I am in on the New York Giants. Jackson Dart at 5,600. You can play him naked. I mean, it's like Josh Allen, but I'd rather play a guy with him this week.
I kind of think you want to play at least one piece with him because he could get there by himself. There's a couple pieces he could. He's not one that's solely focused on one player, but he can. And I think Slayton is a good piece. I think if he does just focus on Wan'Dale, that can be an explosive piece. I think you can go naked, but I think I'd prefer it with 1 to 2 pieces.
Yeah, makes sense there. Slayton 4 for 89. A couple starts ago for Dart, and then 2 for 41 and 1 last week. And then you also had 7 for 75 for Theo Johnson a couple starts ago for Dart. So, yeah, there's definitely stackable pieces. Washington side, McLaurin has looked good. 5,400, 5,300 for Debo. Obviously, we talked about Ben Sinnott. Mariota's only 5K too. You have interest in the Commander side of the ball as well?
I like Debo. I mean, Terry McLaurin is always good for these type of games, but Debo's been getting the work religiously, and there's just like something about when they're at home, or when they're on the road, like they kind of rely on using him in the gadget plays, and this defense is a little like it's really good at getting to the pass rush, like as a quick, making the quarterbacks let the ball off really quick, which I think could lead to a lot of short game, which is more Debo and less Terry McLaurin, which is why I'm also high on Mr. Sennett. But it could also lead to more Debo. So Debo and Sennett are probably my 2 highest plays. But I do like McLaurin, but I'll probably be light on him.
Great shot on Debo. This could definitely be a little bit more of him without Ertz. I think McLaurin's fine, but McLaurin's going to be your usual lower floor, higher upside play. Like 5 for 110 and 2 is in the cards. But you're not going to get there with just like 9 targets or 10 targets from him. You wouldn't expect that, right? Like 9 catches, I should say. You can still get the targets, but Debo is more of that guy where if he got 8 catches tomorrow, you probably wouldn't bat an eye. You'd be like, you know what? That makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. And I do think both are playable. They're both pretty cheap, 5,400, 5,300. Absolutely just fine. McLaurin got a full workload last week, 23 routes. Debo, 23 routes as well. I think both those guys are good. I did pull up the Coach Speak Index on the Washington Commanders.
Great stuff. Okay.
Yeah. He's got great. Yeah, I love that. His name's Greg too, which is funny.
Yeah.
Greg Branos or whatever.
Yeah.
Branos.
He's a little bit awkward, but yeah, I like him.
Yeah, he's got great stuff, and he mentioned they did didn't mention, but he put it into the notes about Dan Quinn did say something about Sinnott and Yankoff, guys who are ascending. So yeah, it's interesting. You can get an unknown tight end who could be in a great spot, and Ertz has produced in this spot. So I'm interested in that, especially for the Millie.
Yeah.
Cardinals, Texans. Oof. Michael Wilson.
Unstoppable.
That's the funny thing.
I set him off last week. I was like, and then Saberson gave me 90%, and I'm like, I'm wrong. So I played him last week. Thank goodness.
And now you hop out and you let the explosion happen behind you. All right. Pros, because people are like, man, how can Michael Wilson do this? All right. Pros. Jacoby Brissett only throws to him and Trey McBride. Pros. They drop back 50 times game. Pros. Michael Wilson has, just been an absolute demon for fantasy over the 3 games that Marvin Harrison has been out, right? Cons. Texans, best defense in the league. Cons, great secondary that the Texans got, and if they were to hyper-focus on one player, Michael Wilson's probably that guy. Cons, the Cardinals might not score more than 10 points this week. So there's a lot of things working against Michael Wilson, despite weeks of things working in his favor. I think I'm out on the Cardinals offense entirely. And this, team total at 16 even feels a little bit high, unless it happens in garbage time. I'm on the Texans to kick some butt. Woody Marks gets a small bump with what Nick Chubb got hurt last week and didn't return. So you got that situation to kind of look at. Nico Collins looked good last week too. This is a Cardinals team that just got carved up by Puka, Corum, and Kyron Williams. I'm going to say this real quick. You could have driven a semi through the holes that Corum and Kyron were running through last game. I am in on Woody Marks. He's my favorite guy from this game. The ownership does reflect that. Nico, I'm slightly in. CJ Stroud, too, just because this Arizona defense might have fallen off the cliff here in recent times, Felix.
Yeah, I'm in full agreement with you on the Woody Marks play. Something tells me, though, that the Houston offensive line is not as good as the Rams offensive line. And that makes me second guess because I also want to play. And I'm also getting a lot of Woody Marks because of the price, the team they're going against. Like everything is pointing, hey, great play here. But everything in the back of my head says it's going to be an average play. And it's going to be like, it's not going to be enough. And it's going to be a Nico Collins, like a couple 100-yard games, and then they're going to bring in Obar Abuwali. I can't remember his last name, but they're going to bring in that guy. Oh yeah, Wale, and they're going to bring in that guy. It's going to be like to close out the game. It's not going to be fun.
Yeah,
because they're going to dominate through and through. I think the number one play here should be the Texans defense because they are going to throw a whole bunch, and that could lead to an explosive game for their defense.
I am in on that Texans defense. Fun fact about Dare Ogunbowale, his sister is a WNBA All-Star.
Oh, I think I knew that. Yeah.
Arike. Yeah. I didn't know that until preseason of this year.
Yeah, I think the same thing. I knew.
I've known both of them, in fantasy aspect for multiple years, and didn't even piece together that that's a pretty unique last name. They're both incredible athletes. Didn't even piece it together.
Yeah.
Dalton Schultz, 4,100. I mean, there's some fairness there. I mean, if you're going to play a Texan tomorrow, I'm not going to bat an eye, right? Like that's the ultimate thing. Woody Mark's definitely the guy that, like you said, could be a little bit of a mess with D'Amico. You never know what's going to happen with this, Texans offense on a game-to-game basis. Trey McBride's probably, again, it's just a nasty spot. Do you really want to go against the Houston Texans defense in a 13-game slate? The ownership would indicate that not anyone's doing that.
Someone scores, and if we're going to put a person to score, it's probably Trey McBride. It's probably just 6 for 60 and a touchdown, which is nice, right? It's 18, but it's not. I think there's other plays for his price, 7,400. That's not going to cut it.
Yeah, I mean you're probably right. I mean I'm just staring. Will I hate myself if Michael Wilson goes off tomorrow?
Oh, I'm playing him because I already made that mistake this year where I didn't play him.
You're probably right.
Or when I said, I'm not going to play him, and then he went off.
Points count the same whether you're down 30 or down 5.
Yeah, like they're going to try unless it gets unless it's like 40-0, at the half. And they just bring in the full second team.
They showed it last
The problem is like if they bring in the second string guys, I wish they already are, maybe the third string guys.
Bring in the second string guys down 32 against the Rams. I don't think they're going to do it. I genuinely don't think they're going to do it because I think Trey McBride is on the streak of 5+ catches, by the way, where it's like an insane streak of.
He's going to get 5 to 6, 100%.
100%. It's a crazy streak that he's had at least 5 catches in a game or something like that. It was mentioned on the broadcast. I made a big deal after his catch in the fourth quarter. I guess I shouldn't dismiss him just because, like you mentioned, you made that mistake and didn't feel that good. I don't want to make that mistake and feel terrible. It's when a guy is literally getting almost 20 targets a game. I mean, it would probably be a stupid full fade, but I won't be high on him. If he fits my team as like my main team, I probably would feel gross about it, but it would probably be more of as the last piece than anything. Felix, it's our favorite time of the day. Phillip Rivers talk. All right, let's go. Yeah, let's go. Phillip Rivers going to start at the ripe age of 44 years old. Great stuff. I don't know how to react. I don't know what to do with my hands right now. Will Ferrell, Ricky Bobby. This is the Colts team that I just think gets mowed. And I don't mean to say that as I think Phillip Rivers sucks, as I don't. And you love the Chargers, so you got a soft spot for you.
I do.
Which did we even mention the Quentin Jammer story happening when you mentioned?
Oh my God, dude! I have that's it. Would first off insane. I follow him on Twitter. I'm a big Quentin Jammer guy. I have 4 of his jerseys. Okay, and I got his gloves. He handed me his gloves after a game. I love that man. God. He's my inspiration. He's my favorite player. Insane to meet him, and now that this is all going on, I 100% back him. He's my guy. I follow him true and true. It is absolutely wild. Then I was like, should I bring out my Rivers jersey or I didn't know what jersey to wear, so I just wear black for the show. But it
was great because you mentioned him on the show last week.
I did. I have his card. Yeah, I did.
And then literally the morning I wake up is Quentin Jammer admits to playing drunk in numerous games or something.
2011, half the season.
I love how I completely.
He went through a divorce. Again, I follow his life pretty closely. He was going through a divorce that time of the year, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I went through all my football cards. I didn't have anything good. I had a Jack Lambert card, but that was about it. I went through all my baseball cards. I did find a Jeff Kent card who just got inducted to the Hall of Fame, but Apparently, it was not a good time to collect cards in the early 2000s. So
probably not. I'll bring out my cards the next time. One of these last shows where week 18. That's what I'll do because nobody's gonna
do it. The amount of just random players that you'll see. I remember that guy. But, nothing special from the tops or upper deck series. This game, Colts defense gives up a lot of fantasy points. A lot.
Yes. Yeah.
And Jackson Smith-Njigba has been such a machine. You look at it, you're like, look, what? He's got a great chance to. Is he still on pace for, 2,000 yards on the season?
I don't know if he's on pace. I think he might be a little bit low. I could be wrong.
So he's at 14-28 with 4 games left. Yeah, it would take.
That one stinker really hurt him.
Yeah, because it was 2 weeks ago against the Vikings. He did 2 for 23.
Yeah.
Before that, 7. Or after that, 7 for 92 and 2. The game before that, 8 for 167 and 2. The game before that, 9 for 105. I mean, I'm gonna kind of just be even with the field on him, which will probably be around this 20% mark. It's such a good spot for the Seahawks that you just worry that they get ahead by like 30 and that's it, right? That's what you worry about the most, more than anything, because I don't think the Colts move the ball at all, though. But I'm interested to hear what you guys say.
Okay, so I actually don't think is as doom and gloom as I don't think I don't know about Fort Rivers 4 TDs. I don't think all that, but maybe it's not out of the realm of question. What's up, Jacobs? I think it's actually a little bit closer than we're all expecting. I do think JSN goes off. I do think this could be a Rashid Shaheed game. I'm hoping it's a Cooper Kupp, as he is my highest best ball goggles on. I hope it is Cooper Kupp is my highest end player. But I do think that Rivers actually might be an upgrade from Daniel Jones in the sense of how the offense plays. Tyler Warren, he's going to see a lot of action here. Not my favorite tight end play, probably 4th on my pecking board, but he loved the middle of the field. He loved short game. Nothing's really changing here. He's going to throw a deep bomb to Josh Downs or Alec Pierce, but it's not going to be a lot. And this is my guy who I grew up with. So it's a lot of checkdowns. I think Jonathan Taylor is actually a play here. Not heavy. I think this could be a nice little expensive play that we talked about, when you get the Washington Giants guys, and then you fill it up with a Taylor and JSN, and you get the little back and forth there.
So Jonathan Taylor in this spot, not the worst, 8,500. They're probably going to have to pound the rock 30-something times if they stay in the game, right? That's
slow it down. Yeah,
slow it down. And this is funny. Richie Smalls, Rivers games, game tapes are on VHS.
If you get the NFL Plus, if you have the NFL on Plus, I watch it because I was at that game in 2009. They still have those games, so it's on online. You can see them.
Oh man, I'm looking at it because I don't think Philip Rivers is going to be awful tomorrow.
I don't think so either. I think he's
naive, but I mean, are we watching Joe Flacco and Aaron Rodgers right now?
Right. Flacco was just playing 3 weeks ago, and then Aaron Rodgers had he just got a rushing touchdown.
And it's 1 week.
Rivers never been a runner. He's the slowest man on earth. So
Steichen, and I don't think it's going to be terrible. I mean, I don't think it's going to be explosive or anything.
I don't think so either. I think he can move this offense, though. I think he can.
Far cry from the people who thought Daniel Jones sucked to Philip Rivers can't lead an NFL offense at the ripe age of 44.
Is he eligible for the comeback player of the year if he plays well?
That would be hilarious.
That's what Flacco did a few years ago.
And then they changed the rules too.
I don't remember how they changed it though. I was like, is that possible?
Further on that point, I can get behind Jonathan Taylor in that game script. Arnold's a little bit too cheap, 5,800. Jackson Smith-Njigba stacks. AJ Barner not bad as well. You had Cooper Kupp, Rashid Shaheed, and JSN. Didn't they all score last game? It was something
Kupp did, and I think JSN. I can't remember if Rashid did.
Shaheed, I think, returned a kick.
Yeah, okay, that's what it was. Yeah, he turned kicked right after halftime, and Kupp got his early.
67, and then returned the kick to start the second half. So all 3 of those guys scored. Barner was kind of the man that was kind of left out, which
I agree.
I did double tight end last week in my main team. He had 3 for 27 on 4 targets, but the volume wasn't insane. I kind of want him.
A solid play.
Yeah, I think he's solid at 3,200, but I think you want him in games where it's going to be like tight and they need to kind of, just get through. I think short throws over the middle, maybe Rivers looks more for like Tyler Warren and stuff. It's a little bit of you can't really wait and see with only 4 weeks left in the season, but it's kind of where my mind is at right now. I think Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet are just 2 guys where I'm okay with them in my lineup. But 17% ownership.
I don't know why I'm with that 17% though. Like, I don't know why what feeling I'm getting here. Is it the maybe potential short fields that everybody's thinking that it's going to happen? Or I think they give up a lot of explosive plays. Maybe I'm just like misremembering the Colts giving up big plays, but I feel like they give up big plays on the ground. And I don't know. Like, I feel like this could be a cakewalk game.
We did just see what the Chiefs ran 30-something times against them or whatever. Try and pound the rock. It's just, God, he's so hit or miss. He's literally Jekyll and Hyde. 10 for 29 last week, 1 catch. 13 for 56 week before, 3 catches. 11 for 71, 3 catches. So it's like, you're banking on the touchdowns. I guess the touchdown could be there, but only 4 rushing touchdowns on the season. If he gets in the box, he's a good play. I mean, that can be said about a lot of guys, though.
Right.
Titans, 49ers. Christian McCaffrey popped up in the injury report today. Questionable for tomorrow. To say that impacts the slate would be an understatement. Brock Purdy is only 6,200. This is a Titans team that just gave up 29 to the Browns. Worst team in football. I don't think it's close at this point. I don't have any interest in Cam Ward. If people want to chase Tony Pollard's performance last week, they can. I'm not. Tyjae Spears is there. It's still a split. It's gross. Flip it over to the 49ers side of the ball, though, Felix. Lots to like. George Kittle, 5,400. Juwan Jennings, 5,200. Both good plays. If Christian McCaffrey misses, you would have Brian Robinson step up into almost a lock at that point.
Yeah.
I won't even mince it. Like, I'd probably have 100% of that dude if McCaffrey got rolled out. The only thing I'd be worried about is Garendo still around. Like,
I don't think so. I think if he was, I think it's all Robinson. I guess so.
Yeah, Garendo would be the guy who back him up, but it would, like you said, Brian Robinson would get all the carries and stuff. I would just worry that Garendo would be involved in the pass game a little bit more.
Yeah.
Right. Assuming that he is still with the team, but I thought he is.
I guess.
When's the last time he even had a touch in a football game?
He
does not have a touch this season.
Yeah.
Wow. He had a forced fumble last week or 2 weeks ago when they last played. Forced fumble.
Let's see.
That'd be on a kickoff against the Browns. So, Garendo could be more involved in the pass game if McCaffrey misses. We can talk about it like McCaffrey's in. Because if McCaffrey, if he's in, he plays every snap, right? Like, every snap that he wants to. Brian Robinson still spells him at times. But my fear would be, like, they just get ahead of this Titans team and McCaffrey gets rested. And I don't know. It could be flawed thinking there, Felix. But tell me, who do you like on the San Francisco side?
So, on the San Francisco side, I like Kittle, but I'm kind of feeling Juwan Jennings this week. Like, they're running a lot of zone coverages on the Titans side, and if we're talking, I don't know why. I like to have my zone beater and my man beater that I kind of like to play with, and Juwan Jennings is the zone beater, and Ricky Pearsall is the man beater. I like Juwan Jennings this week in that form. But I've always attacked Titans or tight ends versus the Titans.
Yeah.
So I think it's another good play here. I do think they kind of just roll them and they get a lot of short fields. Even with a bunch of nobodies on this defense, Salah's trying to make a bid for somebody's coaching job. Maybe who knows where he's going, but he's trying to get one. And I think he's going to kind of dominate here. And they're going to set up a lot of short fields for Purdy. Purdy might be in my higher owned quarterback area because of that.
Yeah. It's tough to fully get away from Purdy with a massive projection at 6,200. It's easy to stack him with the guys that you think are going to get the ball. Ricky Pearsall would be the guy where in tournaments he'd be unowned. He's still running routes. It's just he's not getting a lot of fantasy points in the process, which is why we play fantasy football. But
Ricky P is going to be the league winner in week 17. That'll be my guy. You can hear it. You hear it here first. He's week 17's guy.
He had 30 routes 2 weeks ago, which is the most in the team. Like, there's going to be a game where Ricky Pearsall probably goes off.
Week 17, he's going off.
Can I get this week too? Can I get this week at 2% ownership with a Purdy stack? I do Purdy.
You could, but I don't know. I think it's gonna be a Jawan Jennings like 40 burger.
I do like Jawan too. Don't get me wrong.
I hate Jawan Jennings, but I can see it.
5,200. Obviously, him, Kittle, and Pearsall are out there the entire game, right? Yeah. 6 targets 2 weeks ago when they last played. Led the team. 4 catches, 39 yards, and touchdown. Was that the Panthers game?
2 weeks ago, yeah, because it was the Browns. Okay,
it was the Browns game. Which, they were up ahead. They didn't really have to throw. If they're forced to throw here, again, this could be a little bit of a low volume, a lot of touchdown variance, right? Where, they don't run a ton of plays, but Purdy gets the 3 touchdowns, right? That's where Kittle. This could easily be a Kittle 2 touchdown spot.
Yeah. Agree.
100%. And if McCaffrey misses, it's a whole nother conversation.
I don't think he's going to. Already, I think somewhere I read he's questionable. But he thinks he's good to go. But we've heard that before. Week 1 last year, and he missed the entire season. So you never know.
That's the thing with this 49ers.
You never know.
You don't know. We don't know. And Ayuk. So Ayuk won't return this season. That's the last thing about this 49ers team. Is that Ayuk? Wow, that's fun right there. Talk about one of the worst best ball picks of the entire year, Brandon Ayuk.
Oh, I didn't touch him. I was so happy. 0% for me.
That's perfect. Yeah, you're right. I see this right now. Chris McCaffrey, good to go.
Yeah.
This is what it said on ESPN. So blame ESPN. So you're right. Yeah, McCaffrey himself. Spend a little bit of time with McCaffrey at 9K. Like, what's your thoughts on him as an individual play? Huge ownership.
Yeah. If you somehow left so much cash and you had McCaffrey, you can't go wrong. Like he's not going to disappoint. He's going to get you the 26 that he's projected. Whether he gets 34, it's because they decided to let him run 3 in. It's more about what the 49ers decide to let him do. It's unpredictable. He has a nice floor at 25. Let's just say. He can go up to 40 easily, but 25 is what you're paying for. But you're also paying 9K for it. So that's just the trade-off. Like, if you have that cash, he's going to hit the 25. You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, with that back thing, it just kind of tilts me a little bit under, right? I just feel you could easily score 3 touchdowns. But I do think if they are ahead by 3 scores, just look at the bigger picture, man. No one cares what you're doing against the Titans in week 15. You got a legit chance. I'm drafting a lot of 49ers in best ball and playoff best ball, if you can't tell. Stay healthy for the playoffs, man. That's all.
Yeah.
Panthers, Saints. Panthers team total, wow. Higher than most weeks. Still not very good. Bryce Young, 5,100. Tyler Shuck, 4,900. Tyler Shuck ran the rock last time out. Ran it effectively.
Killed by Devin Neal stuff, man. It kills me.
It did. But then you got Devin Neal is still projected nicely.
Yeah.
Right? You got Rico Dowdle and didn't we just get this spot 2 weeks ago?
No, it was a little bit ago. A little bit. I think it was 4 or 5 weeks.
Well, didn't I want to say that our guy Dowdle ran a touchdown in to start the game, and they did nothing after that. Yeah, it was a 17-7 loss last month. You're right, 4 weeks ago.
Okay.
That was a game where Bryce Young only threw for 124 yards despite dropping back 25 times. Ted McMillan was the only guy to really show up. Well, I guess Tavion Sanders. It's a Carolina. Carolina's bright spot of the season of fantasy was Rico Dowdle. And Ted, I think, had a couple good games. But, that's it. You go back to, what they're doing on a week-to-week basis, and it's gross. It's gross. I don't really know exactly what to do with this Carolina Panthers team from a fantasy point of view outside of Dowdle. And I don't really want to play Tedderett McMillan at 6K when Bryce Young sucks. And
I agree.
Go ahead and take this one from me.
I listen to a lot of sports radio out here in Carolina, and they feel like they don't even know what they're doing. It seems like
NFC
they're just all over the place. They don't have they've talked about already. They don't have a focus, like what they're actually trying to get done, like trying to accomplish. They don't have something they're striving for. It's just like they're just out there playing. They're playing well all together. They're playing as a team, but it's like kind of scatterbrained, and it's like T-Mac will have like 2 catches for a touchdown, but only like 40 some odd yards. It's like, and he led the team. It's a little bit kind of like the Chargers, but less dominant, like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to have more Saints if I'm going to play Saints, but yeah, I'm not going to have any. I'll have 1 to 5 T-Mac shares just because his potential to go off.
Your Juwan call last week was nice. Right? Yeah. Juwan is definitely his favorite target, I would say.
Yeah. That's roommate narrative.
Yeah, 4 for 38. Vela had a catch in the second half, I think, for like 24 yards. That was it. That was his only catch in the second half. Like 5 targets were kind of spread out, but like Vela and Juwan probably okay. You can't pay 6-2 for Olave when he's getting less targets than those guys on a week-to-week basis. And yeah, it's gross on the Saints side. Neal, look, we're always going to love Neal. We're always going to love some Devin Neal. I'm okay with it, 5,300 in a good spot.
He's right in the Woody Marks area, and Woody, if you want to play the leverage game, you get a little bit of Devin Neal instead of Woody, or maybe play both. Play that route, get the cheaper running backs, and pay up for some JSN. I like it.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down for some Devin Neal. Anyone else that you want to talk about in this game, like in particular? I like what you said about Carolina. It's a mess, but like they're still winning, so you can't really complain, but you can't really get excited.
Yeah,
I think. If I were to make like a flag plant where it's like, I'm going to have a little bit of this guy, it might be just Rico Dowdle. But the problem with like the Rico Dowdle thing is it was the hot hand.
So more work. Yeah, he's getting so much work.
Yeah, Chuba is playing.
They're almost exactly like the Rams where they're just going every other.
Chuba. Yeah, maybe Chuba's like not the worst value play at 4,600. 17 carries last week. Also super involved in the pass game, more than Rico. 2 for 41 last week too. Last time they played was the Rams on November 30th.
Yeah.
I
think he had a touchdown, didn't he?
This is what's killing me. There we go. I got it right here. Routes 15 for Hubbard, 6 for Rico Dowdle. Yeah. I guess I should be out on Rico. I'm out on Rico. And Chuba.
That's what I'm saying. It's all scattered, and it's so spread out between everybody, including Xavier Legette, and now Coker's kind of involved a little bit. It's like there's no one guy on this team, and including Bryce Young not putting up huge numbers to go along with it. So it's like, give me my T-Mac, and well, that's it for that team. Like, and not even a lot of T-Mac. It's just.
The reason why Rico got so much work was because he had the hot hand. They went away from it for 2 weeks. It didn't work. They go back to Rico. It worked. And then Chuba finally shows that, hey, this is why you extended me. And maybe Chuba, 4,600. The Tedera, McMillan, 1 catch last time out for 43 yards and a touchdown. This week, 13.
Yeah.
Jalen Coker, almost 19 routes to Tedera's 22, 6 targets. So Coker just could be the guy that just gets more work in terms of like for Bryce Young, short throws over the middle. Yeah. I like Tedera a lot though. It's just talent. It's just
same. And he has the potential to go off. I don't think Coker has that potential. He has the safe play, but we're in the Millie Roundtable. We ain't trying to play safe. We're trying to go for the Millie. I don't think we get Coker.
Absolutely. Green Bay taking on Denver. Great game. Great game.
Yeah. That's a good game on the 4 o'clock.
I hate the Broncos. I hate them.
I'm glad you do because I hate them too. And yeah,
it's gross. It's gross. And then the Packers. How many times is Josh Jacobs going to be listed questionable on any given week? Right? Like, come on now. I know that they got rid of the probable designation, right? But it's just like an absolute.
I hate that.
Is Josh Jacobs going to be in tomorrow?
Yeah, I think so. It's an important game for both teams. Yeah, I think he's in.
So he did practice on Friday,
but didn't participate yesterday or
Pierre Strong elevated from the practice squad this morning.
But Marshawn Lloyd was listed as out, so that might have been correlated.
This is definitely interesting. Yeah, it's not a slam dunk that Jacobs plays, but you're right. I would probably lean toward him playing.
Yeah.
If he's not playing,
I think it'd be a limited workload. I think that's what we can see here.
If he doesn't, right? Like, let's just play that game. 4,400 for Emmanuel Wilson comes into play.
That's a lock. That's a lock.
I mean, they're not going to trust Pierre Strong. We know that.
No.
I think I would agree, right? That's the situation there. And Jacobs himself, I don't love it at 6,900, but Emmanuel Wilson at 4,400, yeah, I would love. Bo Nix, Jordan Love. Jordan Love's been playing pretty good ball. I mean, he just has. The problem is it's spread out. Jaden Reed nuked Dontavion Wicks' production. Like, goodbye from a fantasy point of view.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that, but yeah, like, what was it? 6 routes for our guy Dontavion last week.
Yeah,
exploding on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Christian Watson, wide receiver 1 in that room, which you got to have a lot in best ball. I know you do. I
have zero. I have zero. I was like, he tore his ACL this year. Year. I was like, no way he's recovering. I've played that before. I played injured ACL. Yep. I'm not touching it. I'm never doing it again. And even though he's amazing, I'm still never going to do it again.
I agree. I don't think I would want to chase an ACL injury, especially after Ayuk this year. It goes one of two ways.
Yeah. It goes. You could have a whole bunch of Ayuk, or you can have a bunch of Watson. I guess you can see how it works both ways.
Watson, 21 routes, 489 and 2, big playability. Was the cover guy last week, which we knew that was coming.
Of course we did.
Romeo Dobbs, 19 routes, 0 catches. Jaden Reed, 17 routes, 4 catches. No one else above 11. So it's just 3 guys pass catching that are viable on the Packers. Wicks was all the way down. Only 3 routes, I should say, for Wicks last week. Not even 6. Bo Melton ran more routes than him, which, okay. What are you doing, LaFleur? And you flip it over to the Broncos, and
my boy Pat.
Say it's a mess would be an understatement in the receiving room.
I think it got a little bit shortened with Pat Bryant's out.
Yeah. Little Jordan Humphrey is going to get like 30 routes tomorrow.
No, it's going to be all Troy Franklin tomorrow, man.
Holy cow. Hold on. Troy Franklin only ran 16 routes last game?
Yeah, and guess who's going to take those routes that he ran for Pat Bryant? It's going to be all Troy Franklin.
What? So that's a flip. That's a flip. Week 13. It flipped in week 13. I didn't notice it. I'm so mad. Pat Bryant ran 5 more routes in week 13 than Troy Franklin. Yeah. I sat there with hands on my hips wondering, that's pretty cool. Damn. They were week 11. So just to give people a perspective, what does it mean when someone flips, right? 33 routes for Troy Franklin in week 11, 26 for Pat Bryant, right? Or Pat Bryant. Yeah. You go back to week 10, still more routes for Franklin. I think even like in the midst of these weeks, this is the big one. 35 routes to like 24. Franklin's been in the lead on all those routes, right? And then you mentioned that Pat Bryant is out this week. The last 2 weeks, Pat Bryant has actually had more snaps, more routes, I should say, than Troy Franklin. And last week, it was incredibly drastic, 28-16. So you would have a Troy Franklin now at 5,200 with no ownership, but his role could go back to what it was in the middle of the season.
Yeah,
we did just see Jameson Williams against the team go off a couple weeks ago. Luther Burden had, an okay game against this team as well. But again, when Caleb Williams is throwing you the ball, things are not going to go well. But when it's interesting because like the Broncos could still be a mess, but it's probably just going to be Franklin and Sutton. Like, from pass catching point of view for the wide receivers.
Yeah.
Ingram has had a pretty decent role though in the last couple of weeks. I know last week didn't go as planned, only 2 for 8. You go back to that Monday Night Football game. Yes. He had 9 targets, which that kind of got my attention. What are you doing with this game?
Like I liked what you said with Ingram. Even though he had a kind of a down game last week, I do think he's kind of on the rise with this squad. I am be playing a little bit more Troy Franklin though than any other receiver on this team, and this is a good game to watch, and it's probably going to be a good game to score. But this could be more of a game where it's we're literally throwing to the most available like wide receiver. It's going to be like who's open. They're not going to force anybody targets. I do think Troy Franklin is going to get more open, than Cortland Sutton, so that's why I'm hedging that way. RJ Harvey is a good play here, I do believe. He's gotten 20, touches the last couple weeks. I think they're starting to head that direction, which is nice. Bo Nix is an okay play here at 5,900. I'm not excited to play it against this Packers defense, though. I'm probably going to stick with that route. I might get a couple doubles with Troy Franklin, Evan Ingram, but I'm not going crazy.
Yeah, makes sense there. I like the RJ Harvey shot too. 6K. Yeah. The touches are there now, right? Yeah. Without J.K. Dobbins, the touches are in RJ Harvey's favor. Had 100 yards last week rushing, receiving.
Mm-hmm.
Is always good to see. Yeah, it's an okay game. No one really wants to attack Denver, and no one really wants to attack Green Bay. Yeah. But you still have a game where like the totals in the mid 40s.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, don't go overboard with it, but yeah, I mean, exactly. Game of the day right here. Game of the day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow. Kind of regret because I know you were on Puka last week more than I was.
Yeah.
I somehow almost broke even on FanDuel, and it was because of a Puka, Michael Wilson team. And I think it actually had Corum in it, which was funny because I bumped Corum up because then I bump Kyron down usually. And just for those who don't know, that Corum-Kyron split is literally 1-for-1 at this point. It was like AAB, right? AB and Kyron. Now it's just strictly AB, right? Like if Kyron's in this drive, Corum's coming in the next. And if you're wondering, are there props where I can bet that? Yeah, there is. I mean, there is. I made a nice killing off FanDuel last week on knowing Kyron's drives, right? Like, if you hit him here, you got a great chance. And they would kind of adjust, like, you might not be the guy in the running back room. But yeah, if you pay attention, Kyron starts the game. If the drive is long, Corum might get involved in that drive, but the next drive is Corum's, and then it kind of alternates. So that running back room is going to look a little weird. The secondary for this Lions team, though, is gettable, would be an understatement, and they go into Matthew Stafford, former Lion. Everyone knows that. Puka Nacua, fresh off his best performance of the season. Devontae Adams, the 1-yard touchdown merchant. Lots to like on Los Angeles, and maybe one of the largest team totals of the entire season. Felix, talk to me about some Rams Lions.
So I love Jameson Williams this week. I think with the lack of Laporta, you are clearly saying that he is getting more involved. Obviously, we had that big old stinker a few weeks ago. If that was my play of the day, Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be a good. Everybody's going to be a good play. I get him play Amon-Ra St. Brown, but I think it's his last name was Forbes. He now plays for the Rams. I don't know. They have this quarterback that's kind of shutting down wide receivers, and I'm not going to say I'm going to full fade, but like he might slow down Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah,
I'm going to play a lot of doubles still because I think Amon-Ra is like kind of unguardable sometimes, but I'm going to be well overweight the other pieces this week, and then there's going to be a lot of full stacks from this game, and I'm going to be scraping the barrel for whatever I can get here. Kyron, like you mentioned, Blake Corum, splitting backfields. I still think both are viable. And I think we brought it up like, what if we play both? And it's like, you kind of could have, but, definitely Blake was definitely a league winner last week. I like every piece from the starters. I'm not going to play the tight ends. They're both viable, but I'm not going to play them. It's just kind of messy in the tight end field of both teams.
Yeah, the tight end situation is messy. The Rams might play 3 tight ends on any given play, right? Like they got 3 tight ends set with Parkinson, Allen, and Ferguson, right? And then Higbee will probably return by the end of the year, you'd hope. But yeah, I mean, I think the Puka last game was like, okay, I'm back. Like I'm a top 5 wide receiver in football. I haven't been putting up the numbers in recent weeks, but that was by design. He ran 22 routes last game, which Felix, that was for the first time, led the Rams in back-to-back weeks. So I think all season since the early beginning. Like you had weeks before where Adams was, edging him out. Week 11, for example, Devontae had 7 more routes than Puka. You go back to week 10. Like, they're just kind of like limiting his workload. And I think last week kind of showed like we didn't even need to throw the ball that much. And Puka was out there, every chance we got, basically. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm in on Puka. I'm in on Stafford. I think that this team, you could easily see a 304 touchdown game from Stafford.
Absolutely. This is going to be you could run a naked Jared Goff because every piece is going off, putting up points and you just didn't need them. But the quarterback put up 40 points because everybody's scoring kind of thing. I mean, I'm going to have a piece, if not up to, I wouldn't be limited to any like 3 to 4. An overstack is okay here because everybody's going to get to go off here.
I think the Kyron projection's wrong. I think the Corum projection is wrong. I think they should definitely be closer together.
Yeah, the closer together, they'd both be higher because, I mean, even with Corum going off, Kyron still put up 17.
Well, what was it? He had some massive runs. They both did, but it's like it's literally a split, right? So if you think, I think the Rams run all over him or something. I think they get 26 combined running back points, which is a great day on any given running back, right? If you just split them down the middle, or if you said I'm going to give Kyron 14, I'm going to give Corum 12. I think Corum is a dark horse in terms of people are actually going to click Kyron's name tomorrow a little bit. I think probably a little bit more than 1%. This could be more applicable to FanDuel too, but literally they could have the same projection. Honestly, with maybe if you wanted to split it, it's like a 55-45 thing. But Corum's going to be involved a lot.
Yes.
You talked about Jameson Williams, though. With Laporta going down, absolutely crushing. And you saw it last week. The Rams had the game finished, but like Michael Wilson was still getting his in the first half.
Yeah.
Like, I am very much on board with, my guy Jameson Williams.
Sorry to interrupt you. You know what gives me something you won with earlier this year was with Zacchaeus. You had that extra piece.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
What do you think about Tesla? Tesla, man. It feels like Tesla's that Zacchaeus. What if you overstacked with the Tesla? That feels nice.
I like my cheapies to play like 100% of the snaps. And Tesla could fit the bill. Fit the bill. And we mentioned it was Zacchaeus earlier. We talked about it. 3,300. Yeah. Projection was way too low.
Yeah.
Tesla ran 80% of the routes last game.
Yeah.
Which is good. He only catches touchdowns. but it's good. It's good enough. And 3,500, you're going to get a guy a part of one of the best scoring environments. It's going to be 1% owned or less.
Yeah.
I can definitely have some Tesla. And it's not like Ferks or God, I can't believe I just blanked on the last name here. Dwelly are going to steal too many targets. Like, it's going to be a lot of 3 wide receiver sets. Tesla, I like him. I do. Yeah. I think that's a tournament shout. Someone I can get behind. I did want to mention this before getting off. Was like Jahmyr Gibbs has had some crazy games, right? And you've been on him. You was your play of the day when he dropped like 60 or something like that.
Yeah.
Targets in recent games for him. Laporta went down. What was it? That Washington game, I think, last month. It wasn't against the Eagles, was it? Yeah, the Washington game. Because that Jameson went 6 for 119 and 1. Yep. Laporta had 5 catches in that game, but then in the Eagles game, Laporta was out in that one. In that game, 5 for 107 on 8 targets for our guy Jahmyr Gibbs, right?
Yeah.
11 for 45 and 1. All right, this is just receiving. 3 for 18, 7 for 77. All right. Then you throw in 12 to 20 rushes, in that mix, probably averaging around like 16 carries a game. No one else can compare to that workload. I mean, you can make the case, Christian McCaffrey probably.
Yeah.
That was the wrong word. No one, because Christian McCaffrey exists.
He does exist, yeah.
But 25 touches for Gibbs is very much in the cards, very much stackable in this game. Where do you get the salary to fit him in? We'll give a value play for our play of the day. We'll forego the pick 6 this week to give an extra value play of the day. I think that would be better. And then in the pick 6, we will get something out, for the members tomorrow, just something small. But to save time, because this is a 13-game slate, to prevent the show from going on for another 15 minutes, we'll do an extra value play along with our play of the day. And then we'll also do an anti-play of the day too. we'll get that way. We still talk about 6 players individually, Felix, but that'll be the way to do it. Anyone else that you want to talk about in this game?
No, I think we talked. I think we hit Tesla. I think we hit the bottom of the barrel of what could happen.
All right, defenses. I wanted to talk about this just to sum it up. You like the top end defenses. Can you afford the top end defenses?
Yes, I think so. It depends on how you're building. If you're going to play through that Washington Giants deck that I want to, I think you can get the top end defenses. Though there's my Chargers are out there fairly cheap, man.
Yeah. And
Mahomes hasn't looked good. We may have played like Butchies, but we did intercept him 4 times, made him, we're looking okay on defensively. I think my Chargers on the cheap end look pretty good. You can never go wrong with having the Patriots defense, 2,800. I don't know. There's a couple defenses on the cheaper side this week that I kind of like.
I was trying to look at that where it's which cheap defenses could be good. I agree. I mean, I like the Chargers one too. Look, you hate both teams. You think the game goes under. You got to have interest in the dog, right? In your case, your Chargers keep winning games. What's to say they stop now?
Yeah.
Right. If I were to get a cheaper D than I'm on, I guess the Chargers would be that team. I'm going to go with the Saints. And
okay,
don't get me wrong. I'm also going to go with the Packers. These two right here. Bo Nix is due for an absolute stinker in the sense of they might drop back 40 times, but he might it could easily be a pick 6, right?
Yeah.
And they still put up points, but I just think Micah Parsons
chases him down. Oh yeah.
Chance to make life out. It's just that Broncos O-line's so good where it's not to hurry him, but I don't think highly of Bo Nix. I think highly of the Packers defense to a degree. So I can be on board with that. And then when you're going against Bryce Young for 2,500, you can do a lot of things worse than that. So yeah. I think defense it's very much the top end though. Right?
I think it's going to determine the slate though, man. It's because it's going to be you put up a -4 while other person put up 10, then it's going to be it's going to be weird and it's going to make the difference.
Yeah, you can't just punt the Raiders this week.
Yeah, I think you got to spread it out a little bit.
Even though you're going against Jalen Hurts.
So the Eagles defense, I usually am high on the high end defenses because of the offenses, but Kenny Pickett doesn't he gives it up, right? Don't get me wrong, but they're not going to let him throw a whole bunch. It's going to be a lot of it's going to be a lot of runs. You kind of want the people that are going to, no matter what, the Houston defense. If you're going to pay up, Houston defense is going to be amazing because he's going to put it in the air. Derek Stingley's going to have one, maybe I don't know if you can bet interceptions. I haven't looked yet, but no, I'm going to have definitely one on Derek Stingley if I can find one.
I was going to say, I think the Texans are my favorite defense too.
Yeah.
And they gave belt to ass to me and my 2K crew earlier this year. Not this season, but last season. Shout out Kamari Lassiter.
Oh, boy.
I think I haven't got anything else to add about the defenses here. Let's go ahead and move on to our plays of the day. We'll give our play of the day, anti-play of the day, and value play of the day. The value play of the day just has to be below 4K. Right? That's the way we'll do it. We'll set it up that way because we want to give people a little bit of value, right? Build out your lineups. We talked about a lot of studs. This is a large slate. Who's going to be your guy where, it could pop up with news, right? Would it shock you if we got news that, Josh Jacobs was out? Probably should be shocking, but, you'd have Emmanuel Wilson, right? Staying on top of the ball is huge.
Yeah.
I'll say this. I think I know who your play of the day is going to be. If I had to put my hat on, had the crystal ball out, I think I can guess yours.
All right. Go ahead. Take a guess.
Harold Fannin.
You nailed it. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. Harold. Yeah. I like that one a lot too. I like looking at him.
It's just the way he's getting involved every week, and it's just man, how do you slow him or stop him? Right now, he's on a roll, and it's not like the Chicago defense is slowing anybody down. They're sticking into games. They're not getting blown out, so it's going to be a tight game. I think the Browns lose, but it's a tight game. And it's a lot of Harold Fannin and Quinshon Judkins.
I like it. Yeah. I like that a lot. I'm going to go with Woody Marks for my play of the day.
That
could run a semi through those holes that the Cardinals were defending against. I think as long as Woody Marks gets the touches, he'll put up the fantasy points tomorrow because I would have played myself against that defense last week. That's how large the holes were for Corum and Kyron. I mean, what they combined for, what was it, 200 yards rushing or something like that? Something ridiculous. So.
It was something crazy because I think that Kyron had 80 something. He was on my highest million maker last week.
It's crazy because Corum broke off the 128 and 84. Yeah, so it was over 200 yards combined last week. 212. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm gonna go Woody Marks, my play of the day. Anti-play of the day. That means that we have to take a guy who's going to be high owned. All right, high owned tomorrow, and we're gonna be lower on. Okay, so I know you're probably still looking through it, right? I think I got one in my okay. Is this my third anti-play of the day on him? I think it is. It's Zay Flowers. Bengals wide receiver ones really well. Zay Flowers sucked 2 weeks ago against this Bengals team. Clearly shoved off on his way into the end zone on that pass interference, or else he could have paid dirt a little bit. But the Bengals have been good against wide receiver ones. You want to target tight ends against them. You want to target running backs against them. Wide receiver ones have had a bad time. All right, Zay Flowers, my least favorite play on the slate that has ownership in this one. Felix, you got yours ready?
I wasn't expecting it to be this player, but AJ Barner. Projecting at 17%.
That is high.
I know we're going double tight end for my plays of the day here, but that is a little too high for him. That I don't think that I'm going to be anywhere close to that.
But you give a little, you take back, right? That's the yin and yang. You give the Harold Fannin play, and you say don't play Barner, and monopolize the competition there. I love it. Value play of the day. Can't use Fannin, even though he would probably count in this mix.
Probably would, but whatever.
4K or under. No double dipping here. No, we don't do that here. 4K or under. Who would be your play of the day in that sense? I mean, I'm looking around.
I see another tight end. I'm like, I don't want. I'm trying not to go tight end here.
I know. Well, the tight ends are the easiest under 4K.
Obviously, yeah. Because I got one here. I got one.
Oh man, I'm afraid you took mine.
I think are on the same person here. Mitch Tinsley.
Yeah, you did it. You did it.
Yeah.
I did it. Right when you said that, I was like, I bet he's gonna say Mitchell Tinsley.
Yeah, it's the clear smash. I think in a high scoring potential matchup here, clearly targeted in the last matchup. I think Mitchell Tinsley is gonna have a 20 plus game this week.
I like that. I mean, I do. Mitchell Tinsley, he was going to be mine if you didn't take him, and I have to pivot here. Of course, I lose my train of thought with the value button. I kept trying to find the value button, and I'm like, oh man, because I kind of wanted to glance through all these names.
Yeah.
I want to check out. Who do I like? Oh, what's their price? Blah blah blah. Right. I almost just got that.
I'm looking to see if I can find another. It's a little bit bare bones here at the 4K under. Okay.
Guy ran every route last week.
Okay.
All right, every route. Doesn't have a good projection at all. I don't know why. Rome Odunze's not back. It's Olamide Zaccheaus.
Oh, yes. Nice.
Loves hitting him over the middle.
Yes.
Didn't have a great week last week. But, man, if you're digging at the bottom of the barrel, I'm not saying this guy should be one of the first 5 guys in your lineup.
Right.
But if you're digging at the bottom of the barrel and you're like, I need a 3,300 guy,
you
do much worse than Olamide Zaccheaus.
Yeah, that is definitely a good call. With Rome still out at 3,300, he's getting, like you said, he ran 100% of the routes. And this defense is looking a little lackluster with some of the injuries. I think that's not a bad call. And again, I don't think they're blowing him out, so it could be actual quality throws.
100%. Oz, we'll have it back next week. I'm going to do a ladder tomorrow, and it could be Sanat, just for what it's worth.
Oh yeah, dude. There's somebody good cheap tight ends.
I want him or Yankoff ladders. I think it's going to be Sanat though. I think Tinsley's going to be in that mix too. If you wanted a couple props, or you try and hit a home run on Tinsley, like 50 yards or something like that, and Sanat 40 yards, 30 yards, something like you can get really good odds on these guys who the role is uncertain, right? And Tinsley's role, we just saw it 2 weeks ago. He got 9 targets for Burrow. Exactly.
These odds makers aren't best ball guys, so we know that these are the next guys up here, and we could get ahead of them on these 2 plays here.
Correct. The books are beatable. We know that. We know that.
Not always, but
I got Rick knew it. Jimmy Rivers got that dad strength, 100%. And
got that grandpa strength.
Yeah, that's right. Browns out 4 offensive line. Woo! Oh my gosh. Yeah, it'll be interesting. For Felix, for we appreciate y'all for watching. If we don't take down the Millie, we hope it's one of y'all watching. Have a great rest of y'all's day. Have a good weekend, and be back next week. Bye-bye.